Hi there, Gemini, and welcome to your modern shaman, Maria and RainbowLand, here with the weekly intuitive, heartful astrological forecast for the week that starts at the 12th and ends at the 19th of November 2018. I'm here in the Danish nature, starting out with the astrology card of the week and going into the astrology of this week, where your ruler has the leading role. And then we will end up drawing a tarot card. And after that, we go into section 2 of the week. Welcome. So the astrology card of the week for the Geminis is, let's see what it is. Many people had a really rough week last week. A lot of clients came to me for readings. Are you crazy? People were freaking out due to the Taurus new moon. How was your last week? Did you also freak out of fear? Astrology card of the week? Or did you just have the will? Leo, I will. Interesting. No need to take chances with the Mercury retrograde, because often people are late or stuff happens to slow people down, because this is what Mercury wants us to do, to slow down. So he says to you as well, try to slow down. Now is not the time to start 1,000 new things. You leave what there is, and now you go in and feel, how do you feel about the things that are around you right now? What is it that you need to pick from? Also to come from the highest version of yourself, because all of us now, with Jupiter here in Sagittarius, have a choice, and it's the last time in our lifetimes for this next year, where we have Saturn at home in Cap, we have Neptune at home in Pisces, Cap, Capricorn, and Jupiter in Sagittarius. This is the last time where we really have the choice of really picking, coming from a higher place of ourselves in our destiny point, where we feel our life purpose. We need to find our way home inside of ourselves now, especially now for you guys, Gemini, in regards to your relationship to yourself and others. You need to find your way home. You need to make that choice. Mercury could go down to hell and come back. Except from Chiron, the only one. You need to choose. Do you want to be that person in hell? Or do you want to be the one choosing the light road? Light is information. Light is knowledge. Darkness is ignorance. Do you want to keep being ignorant? Or do you want to step into the light? Knowledge. Wisdom. Because there's also another aspect this week. So this is the Leo rules the 5th house, and this is where we have something going on this week. So I think, since we have nothing in Leo now, that this is what the card wants me to look upon. Venus has been for 40 days and 40 nights in retrograde through Scorpio into your 5th house. And in the 5th house is what you want, your will, about your will and your want. It's in Libra, because it's you following your heart. And here there has been a problem with that, otherwise Venus wouldn't be going retrograde here, because whenever a planet goes retrograde, there's something extra we need to learn in a certain area. So it's about your passion, you're following your heart, your fire. Leo is also ruling the fire. Your Leo energy, where you are, on fire, knowing, oh, this is what you want to do, this is where you want to go. And here she's moving forward again. This is the 3rd and the last pass in 8 years of this retrograde cycle that she repeats every 8 years, more or less in the same spot. She will go forward now with new ways of doing things. So now you know better what it is that you want and have to do in regards to your children, and to your capability of being romantic and following your heart, being creative, also creative projects it can also be. And so in general, it's you getting more in contact with what it is that you want deep inside yourself to shine with, shine upon the world with, because here we also shine. And when we are in the Leo mode, we shine upon others, we share the beauty of ourselves, and we dare to do it without thinking, oh, will they judge us, or what will they think? And since it's Venus, it's in relation to others. It has to do with your relationship with other people. So maybe you are finding new ways of being when you are with other people. Maybe you're seeing that you weren't all that constructive, and you have been torn maybe between two different things, because we are in Libra, where it's often balancing out one thing or the other, and now you're getting clarity as it moves forward, hopefully. So what else this week? We have your planet Mercury in your 7th house of relationships, so it's all about relationships, especially now that Jupiter's in here. And Mercury is going retrograde your planet the 3rd time this year, for 3 weeks, between the 17th and the 7th of December. This is you in retrospection. This is you going inside, feeling with your mind, but also your passionate sides, because it's in a fire sign. Going over all that you've been through a lot in your relationships, probably, or it's really on right now, and it's something that really needs to be solved. And since you're a dualistic sign as well, it can be two sides of you, but it's for all of us, you have to know. So I'm not only mentioning this for the Geminis, but I'm mentioning it for everyone, but in regards to Sagittarius, where this house falls in their chart. And for you, it's in your relationships. Do you have two sides of yourselves that you now have to pick from? It's a dualistic sign as well. Mercury is going retrograde here. You need to pick from which side of you want to be, which is the better one for you in the long run in your relationships with other people. What is the way that you want to treat others and yourself, of course, in regards to others? Mercury retrograde means that also there will be perhaps more introverted communication, so don't expect people to be as fast when they answer. And be sure to back up your stuff on the computer and the telephones or whatever you have before we reach Saturday when it retrogrades. It's already in its cycle, so you are have already been going over these things that we are now going to go over 2 times more. So in regards to all of this, you will now also have to know that if you want to leave house or home, I just want to say these are ordinary Mercury retrograde things, but I will say them anyway. Leave home in good time, because Mercury is means of transport and communication. It's movement and communication. So if you want to catch an airplane, a bus, train, or go with your car to some place where you really need to be at a certain specific time, leave in good time. Hi there, and welcome to the second half of this program. I will now describe which topics we will touch here as lightworkers on each of our individual and collective spiritual mission on this planet. So in this section, we will first talk about going from 3D to 5D, 3 dimensions to 5 dimensions, dimensional sphere. Topic 2, and these will be shortly touched. 3D time is sequential time, whereas 5D time is synchronic time. What is that? 3, section 3. When do we download and upgrade as lightworkers? And how? Energetically, and how do we feel the symptoms physically? 4. We need to learn to become our own masters. Lesson of Scorpio, which started in 2012, especially. Now we're taking the more ultimative tests. Section 5 is one of my favorites. The communication form of the future, telepathy. Section 6, cleaning, not just of ourselves, but of everything. Part 7, awakening, what happens to those who do awaken and those who don't. Section 8, about choosing a certain life path or lifestyle and the consequences, responsibility of it. When self-created issues are there, only you can change them. Part 9, the 12th house collectively. Mars is entering into Pisces. What does it mean? Section 10 is the relaxation technique, where I'm guiding a relaxation that I did just after my silent retreat in a certain condition that you can get transferred to you as I do the relaxation. It's in the link below. So follow the link right after the links to the different star signs and be directly guided to this place in this video where I make a 5-minute relaxation in the condition I had right after my retreat. Welcome to section 2. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all the responses on my silent retreat video of how you felt that these messages and downloads that I got actually were so appropriate for your life just right now, like answers for you guys. Like one of my very best friends also told me that, whoa, it was like as if I was talking directly to her. But not only her, several people came back to me and felt like they were even being charged by the same energy and upgrading through the energy of that video. I just want to say thank you for that. So, let's start. I want to start with point number 0 about the 11th of the 11th and twin flames. It was not in the teaser, but it's here as part number 0. Today it's Monday. Yesterday, Sunday, was the 11th of the 11th, and at 11 o'clock in France, they celebrated that it was 100 years ago since Armistice Day, since the truce for the First World War. But it was also a gate opener for twin flames, soulmates, and conscious relationships to take a step up, to ascend, and to have the chance to walk through certain gates and portals and opening up towards critical things, crisis, that is actually the possibility of being healed, of course. So what is a twin flame? Well, a twin flame is when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. I am with my twin flame now. Not now, because we are in our phase of separation, which is a classical phase in this, but that's a long story. I'll make videos about that too. But when the masculine and the feminine part of the soul, when we incarnate, the first time we incarnate, the soul splits into 2. Some souls chose to incarnate simultaneously in this life. So it's when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. And people will be like, oh, isn't this the most romantic? No, not necessarily. Yes, there is the honeymoon phase. But the second part is the separation where you mirror each other completely. You serve as each other's mirrors for all the flaws and all the karma of your parents and yourself. You get it like a mirror when you see your twin. So it's a really, really tough soul work. Of course, there's a connection you can't have with anyone else, of really coming home. But at the same time, it's hard spiritual work. And we do this, many twins do this, incarnate simultaneously in this life due to the need for extra light work in these huge transitional times on this planet. Here I'm referring to the grand constellations in 2020. I will talk more about it more and more in these programs, The 11th of the 11th is a gate where the twin flames and the soulmates had gates opening up for them to alter their level of consciousness through their relationships towards 5-dimensional. So, okay. So, when do we... Now we come to going from 3D to 5D. What is 3D? What is 5D? 3D is the reality that we know. We are in 3 dimensions. We can see and feel and touch things, and we knock upon a surface, a table. Oh, it's a firm table. We have this here and there, and you can categorize everything in boxes in our thoughts, and it's narrow. It's limited because everything here is scientific material, and only what can be proven and certified by a certain number of people is validated. And it's also, when it's own, so that is okay. That is the bottom line, and it's a certain vibration as well. The 5-dimensional sphere is different. The 5-dimensional sphere is when we open up towards our higher selves. And we do no longer follow just the logical, rational path, but we receive information and we are in the flow, and we expand our mind to a level where it's no longer our own thoughts, but we connect with something bigger. This is another program for itself, where I'll go deeper into it. In this program, we will go into, as I said, what is the time frame for the 3 dimensions, and what is the time frame for the 5 dimensions? As I said, the 3D time is sequential time. We have tomorrow and we had yesterday. It's linear. And everything has to fit into these boxes. At 9 o'clock, you do this. And that is when we do that. And everything is organized. And by that, you're shutting down towards 5D. Because you're shutting out the flow. Because in synchronic time, which is 5D, you're in the flow. So you receive information of where to go next smoothly in a nice vibration where you ask for something, you pick to open up towards your higher self and where you need to go in this life. And you only do that by dedication and will and wanting this 100%, because you need to do it in all that you do. Even though we have to be in 3D time still, because the planet hasn't altered completely yet. Of course, we have our work and our different things we need to do, but we can go in and out of the 3 and 5 dimensions. Like when I pick information for my personal clients, I even upgraded so much now that I can actually see their higher selves more and more. Like they speak to me, show themselves in different ages, depending on what they want to show, and then I almost can enter their body and feel where they are and what they feel. That is 5D, because we're out of this frame where everything is solid and only one way, and only if you can experience it too and 100 other people, then it's real. Because we narrow our mind there. In synchronistic time, we choose and pick. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for this call that I have. I'm going down this timeline, or I'm picking this timeline. Once you do that, the universe will conspire to lead you in the right direction, but since other people might be involved, you need tolerance and patience, and then you need to not be fixated upon the will, the ego, wanting it to be at that specific time, because then you might miss the train, or the signals, or the signs, because they are subtle, and you need to learn to know them more and more, because in synchronistic time, then suddenly the right people turn out the right places at the right time, and miracles can happen here. It's more narrow, limited in 3D. More about that later on. I will come more and more into this, because on the planet right now, a lot is going on. As I said before, section 3 is about when do we download and upgrade, like as light workers. Like what are the symptoms upon when we upgrade and get new downloads? Like, for example, for your spiritual ascension level, we are upgrading quite a lot right now because of the ascension level that we need before 2020, as much as possible. Now is the time to get it. It's going to be harder afterwards. So the people who are the forerunners and the ones, the light workers that are leading the first wave, we upgrade a lot. And then the second wave was that take also a very great load, getting more and more people to ascend. they also have this more than you think. So the signs of that you're upgrading, it could be like a loud noise, a loud tone in your ear, a ringing of your ears, between your head, like suddenly, or oh no, I can't say. I don't know how to say the sound, but no, sometimes like a very small sound for your one ear, the other ear, and then the tone shifts. It's because the energies are working upon you, and it's a good idea to lay down and relax in this case. Over the 20 years I've had these things like loudly, I realized it's better to sit down, for example, just to relax and receive. Then it's even more effective. And you feel, or just the number 2, just like, you just suddenly wanting to lie down. Number 3, like dizziness, sometimes like for a couple of minutes, sometimes for days, maybe even. The symptoms can also be like nausea, depending on how big a download you're getting. And by the way, there's like higher realm holistics. She's very much into these things as well. So if you want to go deeper, she's a good one to follow. And then we have, she's in here on YouTube as well. Like some of the things that I get a lot, and that's been my thing, and people who knows me and have probably tried, where I see these power glimpses, and suddenly I get like if you, how can I describe them? Like if you have light, the whole light of a huge light, but put into one single little dot. So intense the light. It's from another world-ish. Like these power glimpses, like suddenly. Also when I sit with clients, sometimes I see it just over their shoulder, or to the left or right of their head, or I see the power glimpse, and I see, okay, they're getting upgraded, and it's a sign of that. And also sometimes it's a sign of that we're in contact talking with the higher self, but it's often an upgrade. It can also be like the flimmering on the television screen when it's like black and white, like I don't know if they do it anymore, but just like energy moving in front of you, like when you before you sleep and you see the movement. Of course, all of these symptoms can also just be symptoms of your body being tired and other things. But you ask your higher self, is it or is it not? Like, what is it? Should I lie down? I mean, anyways, whether it's a body or it is upgrading, you should lie down when your body tells you to, if you can. I mean, it's not always possible, so. But also it depends on, that like we're upgrading the whole matrix of the level of svingningsniveauet in Danish, the frequencies in like this spiral we are in energy wise. And it can also be like in the third eye, the kundalini rising, like, or in the the third eye, between your eyes and a little up, when there's upgrades here, you can get like a headache while it's happening, and sometimes it's like you can see geometric figures like the Merkaba pyramids. You can look that up, Merkaba pyramid. I will see if I have time to make a video about that. Sign number 6, like intense tiredness can come in these phases. Like you're like, why am I even tired? And then, okay, then you know why. And then it can, like, also because we're having Uranus in the Aries, and it's, Uranus is always driving different upgrades, and now it's going on our identity again for the last time, and the body a lot here in Aries. We will feel that through that Uranus energy. He's a good upgrader from 3D to 5D. And remember, like around new moons, also we also deals with extra tiredness very often. 7, sign number 7. Sometimes when we lose words and can't find the words, and we are like in this kind of Pisces condition where God, the universe, meditational states are the important, and you feel tired. No, you don't feel tired, but you feel like blurry in the head, so words aren't so important because you're downloading. It can also be It can also be like that you're feeling hungry, or that you feel like you're starving. So also, when we need to learn to become our own masters, and not all the time mirror ourselves only in other people or in the God, or in, if we have a master or something, we have to integrate this in ourselves. And this is also what's a part of the Scorpio energy, because you learn to master here. This is really where we learn to master, and we go from darkness into light, and we're mastering ourselves. We're mastering all the sides of ourselves, and not only just trying to blame it on other people, but you also take responsibility in this, to master the processes. So also because we are in this period, which is, and the other section that I mentioned, a very important one, where we are preparing ourselves on the communication form of the future, telepathy. That will be the future communication form. It is already now. Back to the future. We are in the future. We already use it. We're just not aware of it. We send each other thoughts all the time. We seriously do. We send each other thoughts all the time. We just don't realize it. So we just we think that it's our own thoughts or something, but often it's other people thinking about us. That's why the thoughts are so important, because we really affect others, So be aware of what you're thinking and what you're sending out, because it's energy and the vibrations are reaching others. So it's also because of that the telepathy will be the communication form. There's a need to. These openings are needed to be made to get a telepathic contact. But telepathy are like wordless words sometimes. Like when I get telepathic messages, just also from the other realms or dimensions, it's like I get into a state, a condition, and I look for words or images that are resembling with the information that I get. Like the information that I get can be very short and tense. What do you call it when it's compact? And then I have to unfold the information because it's in a small handful of a state I just get, and there's a lot of words to describe it. And this is the same with telepathy. So we are these times with Uranus here. We are breaking down, upgrading, breaking down, upgrading, like breakdowns, breakthroughs for all with Uranus in Aries, and it's about your identity. And of course, I repeat stuff sometimes. It's because it's very good to be reminded about things you know already, to remember to integrate it, because we are light workers here. We are here to help the earth move in the right direction. We have a purpose here, right? So that's why you're on this channel, as I always say. Otherwise, you wouldn't have not reached this minute of the show. There's a reason. We're always guided towards the right things for us. And when you have raised your energy level, because we have to work upon it, we have to wash our energy every day through meditation or cleaning. Just like we clean our bodies, we need to clear ourselves mentally and energetically to keep the open heart, because in 5D we have the open heart. And when you have raised your energy level through working upon it, through eating healthy, through choosing the right relationships for yourself, through all these choices you make to clear yourself, it's really important not to drop again, but keep it. But it takes will and dedication. So if you want to go up in 5D and others around you are stuck or keeping you down, Venus retrograde, which is the last week in retrograde, then she's moving forward, so she's still in her phase, but can help you cut the cords to these energies. And to clean on relationships, we have to clean ourselves, but not just ourselves, but also people, but also our homes and our communication, our means of communication and everything around us. And send the earth and your loved ones. You can send the earth and your loved ones like protective energies through love, also telepathically, and know that you're always protected against anything dark or low. And dark, you have to remember that darkness is ignorance and light is wisdom. So don't be so afraid of darkness if you are in the light. Only thing that can bring you down and vulnerable is if you fear it. But if you know and you ask for protection, you just ask for protection and then you create it for yourself and your family through love. But with Venus retrograde, we're releasing all these kind of things right now, and that can't go with you. They have to be released, otherwise you can't ascend. And we have this awakening tipping point that seems to be reached now, actually. And we'll have its effect in 2020, but we are more and more than we used to be. We are more than we used to be and think that we are. And more of the youngsters have brighter minds growing up now, showing the way. Even though also the whole time is weird with all this internet and escapism and pornography and 3D substances, always wanting to look young, always wanting to, being caught in the mill, because 3D is also the rat that has to run in its wheel, because you have to look young and you have to be rich and have to be successful. That is the manipulation of the 3D realm. Then you're kept like a rat in a wheel, because then you're just striving for that and then you're forgetting everything else. You're easily controlled. Right, so it's about stopping that illusion. But if you are awakened, you are on your way to ascension. But you have to know that heavy metals, chemtrails, porn, drugs, alcohol, fear, fluorides, which are acting like heavy metal in the human body, microwaves, radio waves, sensational cravings for sensation through the news and the media, and addiction for stimulation, all keep us down and in zombie states where we don't wake up in the 3D. And what we use, we vote for. What we buy, we vote for. So if we want to raise an alter consciousness, you also have to make conscious choices. Like when I'm out in the countryside without the waves, I so clearly see, and my heart is like really open. I'm in 5D, and I communicate like almost now like my level is so raised because I did the hard work. Got a lot of help from people around me. Like, for example, my partner, my beautiful partner, he shows me the way through showing me my shadow sides that I need to clear, and the more shadow sides I need to clear, the easier it gets to see clearly and to feel the intuition. That's what a conscious relationship, like twin flame soulmates or just conscious relationships are. That's when you realize that what they're telling you is true. There is something about that you are this and that. Of course, if your partner is always saying, "Oh, you keep nagging," or "You keep meh," maybe you should choose another way to say things. Instead of saying, "Oh, I always have a complaining partner," and then you can keep complaining about each other. But then find a sweet and nice way to say what it is that you have to say, so they say it with an open heart, so they can keep an open heart and mind when you say it. Right? But in the city, it's harder, of course, with all the waves and the lower energies sometimes to get raised. So if you can get into the countryside, sometimes being nature or being forums where people only meditate, because we create energy through what we do, the actions we do in a certain area. So if someone has always been meditating for 50 or 45 years, then of course that's the energy level there is very clear. And let your heart guide you towards places where the energy is right for you, is what I mean to say. We need to detoxify, not only mentally, but also the heavy metals in the body. And you can do that with ceolite, for example, like volcanic minerals or detox. There are so many ways. Ask me in a comment and I will help you. And I also had some people telling me like, "Whoa, what's going on with the five? With me suddenly really hearing my ancestors, talking with them, feeling them in my body, opening up, so that the level of communication was like scary in a way, because how to handle this." How to handle all of that? Well, it's again a part of the ascension process. I promised to say something about this, and the two people who asked about it know who they are. And of course, you have to know that what I've just been talking about now is this ascension from 3D to 5D. Is these walls breaking down? It's very natural, because the time is not linear in 5D, so you can travel in time. That's why a dead parent or others can get in contact with you. It's not that wild. It's just wild because we closed down towards it and made horror movies about it. It's beautiful. I have my mom close by often. Not only my mom, I'm like even my partner's mom. And like, I can, yeah. So, well, okay. So the Venus retrograde ends, and we have a new direction. So a new vision upon how to handle relationships now. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for the support from my hospital, also from the Spanish viewers, because there were so many kind people who asked, "Oh, how did it go? We want to pray for you." And I just want to say I had the most amazing operation in my knee. The whole hospital, well, also due to my partner, myself and my father. My partner sat in Tokyo, my father was with me, and we just opened up the channel and asked for the grace of the master, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to float through us. And so many people blessed and wished me luck, and that the whole hospital was charged with love and positive energy. So everyone I met, was like just such a joyful experience to be at the hospital. No fear at all, and people coming in and out. Also after my retreat, people came in and out of my life, like giving me like as if I was just being used to give answers to people without even knowing that. Bam, another one coming in, and it was like that at the hospital as well. Like the other patients around me, or what is it called, hospitalized people. They also seem to have a purpose of being able to give me something, also just love and appreciation, and me giving them something back. So it was just like so beautiful, actually. So you can have a beautiful experience if you code yourself and program the situation and your heart to be open in a certain way. But also thanks to the one that helped me like that. But again, next section, and I will be done within 5 minutes. You are the creator and the co-creator of your life. So whatever is there is created by you, and thereby your responsibility to fix. So victim roles won't serve you. It's self-created. Your intuition, higher self, heart, guides, and probably also your body told you many times not to do certain things, yet you end up doing them subconsciously or even conscious patterns. But these are times to choose. What do you want? And know that your choice has a sub-choice that follows along. If you choose to want to work and earn a lot of money and work 80 hours a week, yeah, well, you're not going to have that romantic partner life, and you will not have that much time with your children. So your choices have causes and effect. And when self-created issues are there, only you can change it and help yourself. And this is because of the chosen lifestyle, life route or routine you have. You've chosen to have this job, partner, focus, hobby, escapism, etc. So now you have to, of course, pay the price of what you chose. But there is, as always, a second chance, no matter how old you are, unless you're focused upon, you can only change your life when you're 25. Yes, but we can change our ways. We can change the glasses we wear and our perspective. Well, so the illusion is down. So it's a job for us light workers now to take down the curtains. And the people in power and the darker forces need us to stay in the illusions, but what can we do as light workers to help this transition? Stand in your truth is the most important thing. A lighthouse stands alone and just turns. So we are often placed as light workers in places of darkness, which is why we can feel lonely sometimes. And now with Mars in Pisces, which is also like hospitals and mental institutions and meditative states in churches, and you being alone with yourself, prisons even, when Mars is in Pisces, we tend to feel less motivated to go after traditional goals, and we are more motivated to pursue spiritual or emotional drives during this cycle. And we dislike confrontation during this period. So our output is very variable rather than more straightforward, and our energy is similarly up and down, because Pisces are this way, that way, etc. But we may put others' needs ahead of our own, because normally Mars is selfish. And here our more realistic sides come to the forefront. So during the cycle, going after what we want becomes less straightforward and more complicated. And as I said also in the report, escapism at high levels are coming in, but not to make this too long. I mean, if you feel lost and you are working with yourself on heavy stuff emotionally, then choices that means that you're staying alone for a while means that you actually are doing your light work, and that will eventually lead you to where you want to go, to love. Because this is self-love, and you create this love and attract it. Always work upon that self-love first. And you do that by following your call, your purpose. And we don't want to miss this train or get late to the train, your train. It's now. The time is now. Then you will feel lost. So take responsibility now and charge over your ego to take the charge. Use it for what you came here for now. So once in a lifetime opportunity to help moving forward in each our way. And we spread the light through information, through standing in our truths. And it's the last time in our lives we have these big heavy boys where we have them here in their home signs. So, But learn to understand your desires and your will, and how you operate is a really important part of these things in Sagittarius, where we also have even the star in Taurus, a huge one, and we have things, of course, here that we want and we have desires to get, but we have to use it for something like sensible, something that's in concordance, or what you call it, in tune with our call. And it's also, of course, a special time because there aren't any middle ground. It's a really, really clear choice between light or darkness, right? So you can choose the highest degree ever of awareness, the ultimate degree. But do you want to do it? You have to change your ways in all that you do every day. And in meditation we go from 3D to 5D. D is to say that we are shifting from thinking into feeling, and from the mind and its complexities and impurities to the heart with one simple message. Like, do you want it complex or simple? Do you want it wise or ignorant? That's the question. So let's go to the meditation now. I will make not a meditation first. I will just go into this where I was, the energy where I was when I was in the silent retreat, the gift that I got, the upgrade that I got. I will put in that video. It's 7 minutes long, and I feel so much transmission going through me in this energy, in this video, that so many people have told me that they can now sleep after they hear it. People who had trouble sleeping, and they can now meditate. People who had trouble with their thoughts. So try to use this meditation. I will also make a link so that I'll try to make a video, upload a video so that you can always hear it at night before going to sleep or before meditating if you want to. But for now, it's by following the link. You can go directly to it if you ever enter this video, or you can just hear it now because it's coming now. And after this relaxation part, where we just go into the body, we will then meditate. If you want to get out of your head and into your heart, start getting into your body. Start relaxing your body. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So in Heartfulness, we start with a relaxation, where we relax our whole body, 5 minutes, and then we're ready to just go into the heart and focus upon the light. Or whatever it's not necessarily that you need to say that to yourself, but that's a longer story. If you're able to disconnect, and you can do so. But let's just start, if you want to just close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground if you're sitting down. Notice the room you're sitting in. Start slowly to direct your attention inwardly to you. Just gently ask your higher self, or you ask yourself, to give yourself the time now to let go of every thought and just get into your body and expect that this happens. Should any thought come in, you just treat it like an unwanted visit. You notice it, and then you just kindly ask it to leave. Feel your feet. Just notice sensation in your feet. Put your attention to your feet. Then take your attention to your ankles. Slowly move your attention up through the lower part of your leg. Feel the muscles relax. Go up to your knees. Feel any tension there, and kindly expect them to relax. Move your attention to your thighs. Feel how nice it is for you to be there with your focus and your intention, making your thighs relax. Move your attention to the lower part of your torso, to your behind. To the stomach. Relax your stomach. Move it to your chest area. Feel how your chest relaxes. Now we're at the shoulders. Feel how they sink and drop. Feel your back from the lower part of your back. You slowly move your attention up. Just feel it. Feel your spine, the center of your spine, or just the spine. From the buttocks and all the way up. Slowly up through the spine until you reach the neck. You relax your neck. The back side of your neck. And here. Then you feel from your shoulders how your arms start to relax from the upper part of your arms and all the way down the lower part of your arms, your wrists, your hands and your fingers relax. You feel your face. Release any tension around your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you let your jaw drop. Feel tension in your lips. You let it go around your ears, forehead. Feel the whole head now, the top of the head. And the whole head. Relax. Try to see now if you can put your attention on your whole body at the same time. Just be in your body. Now would be the time where I would meditate upon the heart. You can now sit back in a position that you can sit in for 30 to 45 minutes. Here you can now ask your consciousness to go into the heart and be in the light. And then sit here and ask yourself the permission to stay in the state where it's just you now and your open heart, nothing else. That any thought that had to pass you in your consciousness is moved out and being guided out as if it was an unexpected guest you peacefully and quietly are asking to leave. You can also write to me at the email address if you find in the text below, and I will find you a free heartfulness meditation instructor in your area. You can now shut down for your computer and let the peace and silence, the peace of silence, take on your body, mind, and soul.
There is this angel saying, I'm gonna find my way back home. The secret is love.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.